Hey, everybody, welcome back to Lara Trump Wanted for Questioning. This is the show where you send me any question, literally anything you want to ask me about animals, about working out, about food, about life. I don't know, any aeronautical questions, anything you got, I'll try to answer them. So let's see what we got today. Here we go. Okay, first question. Will 45 tell us about Roswell and Area 51? Do you know I've tried to ask my father-in-law about this? I've tried to get like real details from him. And, for people who like to say that he spreads the nuclear codes and he gives away top secret information, he will not tell you anything about that information. Now, that's not to say when he becomes president again, that this wouldn't be something that would be right up his alley. Potentially, we will see what happens. I think there's a lot of information that needs to be divulged to the American people. Like, what are our surveillance agencies actually surveilling? Are they looking out for terrorist cells around the world? Are they actually trying to keep Americans safe? Or are they out there trying to surveil Trump-supporting grandmas who they're worried about, for a whole host of reasons, mainly because they would go out and vote for Donald Trump? Those are things that I think the American people should know, deserve to know. There will be a lot of information released, I'm sure, about our Department of Justice, the CIA, the FBI, the nefarious players there, the real deep rot within that entire group of people when Donald Trump is sworn in as the 47th president. As for Area 51, Roswell, I don't know. I'll work on that for all of us. I sure would like to get a little more information there. If that is, aliens don't kind of come in and take things over in the next year and couple months while Joe Biden is still president, because not only do countries around the world that mean us ill know that Joe Biden is weak, but I'm going to go ahead and guess the aliens do too. Next question. Do you guys have to take and listen to mean people daily, or is it just mainly online? I think you have an amazing family. Thank you. Well, that's so nice. No, I'll tell you, most places that we go, the love and support is honestly overwhelming. And people say all the time to us, they're like, I'm sure you get tired of hearing this, but thank you to your father-in-law. Thank you to your family. We don't get tired of hearing it because it's amazing, because the mainstream media would have you believe that we are just constantly barraged with people coming at us in a real negative way, but it is quite the opposite. My husband and I took our kids to dinner actually on Monday night or Sunday night. And we did a little mini golf, and then we did a family dinner at this very nice restaurant. And I will tell you that it was pretty much every table in the entire restaurant that at some point came up and said something nice to us. And it is so meaningful, and we love hearing it. So no, we don't on the reg have to deal with crazy people. Now online, of course, there are these lunatics. I posted a video of my kids and dogs running around on the golf course the other day when PS, there was no one out there. I'm not some idiot that's going to take my kids and dogs and ruin someone's round of golf. But people have comments like that. Oh, way to ruin someone's round of golf. Great job. Your son has his shoes off. He's going to get chemicals in his feet. You can't do anything right. And I think what you learn whenever you come into a family like this that is very public facing, where a lot of people are paying attention to literally everything you do, is that you can't take all of the crazies seriously. In fact, you can't take any of them seriously. The people who know you know who you really are. And that's what ultimately matters. And so we just try to live our lives the best way possible. We try to be good people. We try to do good things when and wherever we can. And other than that, no, we don't worry about all the lunatics out there. But it is really incredible to feel all the love out there. So thank you to everybody who has said something to us. We appreciate it. Okay, next question. Did you have a favorite politician before Donald Trump? Did you pay a lot of attention to politics? Favorite politician? I'm going to say no. Not really. I mean, I think Ronald Reagan was kind of like the OG for a lot of conservatives. Didn't pay a whole lot of attention to politics. I know that my parents voted Republican, and I remember when I could first vote in an election, my parents kind of like inquiring as to how I was going to vote, but they never pressured me and said like, this is how you have to vote. But I think our family learned a lot, and we got a very quick lesson in politics and all of it somewhere around June of 2015 when my father-in-law announced he was running for president. But yeah, I mean, I think always you look at Ronald Reagan and what he was able to do during his time as president and his background really as an actor, obviously governor of California, but someone who kind of like Donald Trump really didn't have a rich history in politics, and yet he was incredibly effective, and what a great leader, and great things happened under his leadership. So I would have to say that he was always someone who I had in the back of my mind. The only thing I remember during the other kind of presidential elections, I remember a lot about Ross Perot. I remember watching him, and my dad liked that he was this like third party, like obscure candidate. I remember Bill Clinton playing the saxophone. Other than that, wasn't really invested in politics in any way, shape, or form. I think probably like a lot of people before Donald Trump came down the golden escalator and changed everything we know about politics. Okay, next question. Okay. Oh, your skin looks so nice. Thank you. Would you tell us what brand of skincare products that you use regularly on a daily basis? First of all, I went to dinner last night with a girl who occasionally does my makeup, and she told me that the foundation I'm using, she's like, no, that's the wrong one for you. So I'm kind of like, should I be embarrassed based on how I look today? I don't know. Jess made me a little nervous last night, but thank you. I appreciate it. I use a whole host of products. I really feel like minimal is better when it comes to putting stuff on your skin. Your skin is your biggest organ. And I feel like we encounter a lot of like garbage, quite frankly, on a daily basis in the food we eat and what we drink and the air we breathe. And the last thing I want to do is put a bunch more garbage into my skin that will eventually end up in my body. I do try to use some sort of a retinol, like rejuvenating type product on my face because, I know I don't look a day over 15, but I have had in the past year a very big birthday. So I think we're all trying to do our best to look the best we possibly can. I can give you a whole host of products that I use. They're not all in the same family. They're not all in the same line. I try to use organic products whenever I possibly can, but I could give you a rundown on all of them at some point. I didn't come prepared for this because I don't know these questions ahead of time. So what we could do is I could post a little description of what products I use on my face for everybody to learn about and share. So I will do that coming up soon. Thank you for asking. Okay. Next question. What pet peeves get on your nerves that Eric does? Eric Trump is perfect. Excuse me. My husband, perfect. I know all the ladies out there will appreciate that. All the wives out there will appreciate that. Here's the thing about my husband is that he's got a lot on his plate. He's doing a lot. He's running the Trump Organization. This is a company that Donald Trump started decades ago. This is his pride and joy. The Trump Organization has thousands of employees all across the world. There are golf courses, there are hotels, not just here in America, but many overseas as well. It's a lot to manage, a lot to deal with. We know about all the crazy stuff going on. My husband has a lot to deal with on a day-to-day basis. And so I try not to give him a hard time. Here is the thing though. I feel like sometimes if we're in a hurry and he decides he's going to drive, I'm just like, babe, like, maybe, do you want to like work on your phone a little bit and just go ahead and let me drive? I have been known to be a bit of a fast driver, truth be told, but I'm effective. I will get us there. And if we need to shave a couple minutes off of our time to a destination, let me tell you something, I'm going to do that. Eric, on the other hand, sometimes will drive like under the speed limit, and nothing makes me crazier than being in a car with someone driving under the speed limit. It's why it's very hard for me to take like an Uber or something to the airport because I'm just constantly like looking down at the time and I'm like, oh my God, we're going to miss our flight, because y'all know I like to cut it close on the flights. Other than that, I'm a very lucky lady. I have very few complaints about my husband. He really is. He's a great husband. He's a great dad. But I will say, if we're in a hurry to go somewhere and Eric decides to get in that driver's seat, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to like really calm and center myself and find like my cheese so that we can get through this drive. But generally speaking, he lets me drive if I'm in that moment. So we're all good. Okay. Hi, Lara. I love your show. Thank you. If Donald Trump gets to be president again, obviously, which I hope, me too, will he have some family members in his cabinet like before? Well, he didn't have anyone in the cabinet. He did have Jared and Ivanka as advisors in the White House. And I'll repeat this again, and I tell it every time I possibly can. Not only did my father-in-law not take a paycheck, Jared and Ivanka did not take a paycheck. They didn't get paid to do what they did in the White House. They did it because they really wanted to be helpful to him. They wanted to make great changes. I think we can say thank you to Jared Kushner for the Abraham Accords, the peace agreements that were historic signed in the Middle East. I think we say thank you to Ivanka Trump for all the women's initiatives, the women's work initiatives, especially that she championed. And so I think they did a really great job while they were in the White House. Did they take a lot of incoming? Absolutely. Was a lot of it unwarranted? Absolutely. I'm going to say pretty much all of it totally unwarranted, but they were targets. They put themselves in basically the bullseye there in the White House in Washington, D.C. And I think what I figured out is that when you are effective and you actually get things done, people don't like that in Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C., the swamp there thrives on ineffectiveness. If you can just drag something out as long as possible and it can cost the most amount of money, that's generally what the swamp likes. They love stuff like that. Let's do an experiment where a shrimp runs on a treadmill. Why not? Cost the American taxpayers hundreds of millions of dollars? Absolutely. That's the kind of crazy stuff our government does. And so I got a hunch that a lot of people didn't like Donald Trump because he was very effective, because he got things done in record time, ahead of schedule, under budget, like the Trump family tends to do. And Jared and Ivanka were an extension of that. Would he have anyone in those positions? Again, if he becomes president, you got to ask him that. You know, I think it'd be a tough sell for a lot of us to go to Washington, D.C. Those people are horrific there. It is called the swamp for a reason. And I think we're very happy, Eric and I at least, down here in Florida. We have a really nice life. Our kids like it down here. Our dogs like it down here. So as far as I'm concerned, unless my father-in-law came to me and said, you are the best person to do X, Y, and Z for me, I would love to have you come work with me, then the answer is an unequivocal yes. I wouldn't even hesitate. I wouldn't even think about it. Whatever he needs. But let's do this. Let's get through the next year and change. Let's get to November 5th, 2024. Let's have the blowout win of all wins. It's going to be even better than the win in 2016. Yes, because of all that we've had to deal with. And then we'll get to that question, and then I'll come back and we'll see where we are at that point. So I'm going to leave you with a big fat maybe. We'll see. Okay. Next question. Why does Hannity call you Laura? Here's the funny thing. Sean Hannity and Jeanine Pirro are two people who I'm very close to. I consider them very good friends of mine and of Eric's. And it's funny because I will literally talk to them before I've gone on their shows before, and they call me Lara, and we're all good and everything's fine. And then I don't know how they write it in the script that comes up on the teleprompter, but they must write it in some kind of crazy way. And then there we are on TV, and they're like, Laura, Lara. And I'm like, what? It's fine. Listen, I have been called many worse things than Laura or Lara. So if that is the worst name that I'm called on a daily basis, we're all good here. That I will take all day long. And Sean Hannity is a great patriot. He couldn't be a nicer person. Anyone who knows him on a personal level will say the exact same thing. People have no idea how far Sean Hannity actually goes out of his way to help anyone he can at any time. Just what a great human. I feel very lucky to know him and to be able to call him a friend. So if he slips up and calls me the wrong name every now and again, we're all good here. We're even. I'm not going to worry about it. But it is kind of funny how that happens. And I sort of love it. I sort of live for it. Okay. Final question. Should Americans have an app so they can vote on everything themselves and do away with Congress. Ooh. Well, I don't know how the founders would reflect on that, although they didn't plan for cell phones. They certainly didn't plan for the internet, for apps, for the way that we're all connected these days. I would worry a little bit about the security of something like that, certainly. I think the good news with the United States Congress is they've got a little fight left in them on the Republican side. Look, all this crazy stuff going on with electing a speaker. You know, we as Republicans hold the majority in the House of Representatives, and it's very interesting to see how this has all happened. I think it's good, though, whenever we shake things up a little bit. I think just monotony is not good in general, and just going about things the same way over and over and over again, not necessarily the strongest way to do something. So let's hope that the shakeup that we have going on right now results in a more effective United States Congress. Let's hope it gets more people involved in learning for whom they are voting in the upcoming elections when we're voting for our representatives who are there in Washington, D.C. to represent us, their constituents from around the country, from their various states and districts. So I don't know. I don't know if the app would fly necessarily. And I think there would be a lot of people who would have a big issue with one person developing it, another company developing it. I can see how that would get very messy. Let's hope that the Congress can just get it together and start actually working towards things that matter to the American people. Let's stop sending billions of dollars overseas to other countries. Let's start fixing things here in America. Let's work on securing our borders. Let's work on saving our people who are dying by the hundreds of thousands, or at least 100,000 every year by fentanyl. Let's do the work here at home, and let's focus on making life better for we the people here in America. I'm going to vote for that. All right, well, that'll do it for us here at Lara Trump Wanted for Questioning. Thank you for all the questions today. Loved all of them. Very thought-provoking, some of them. You can always send us your questions. You can post under this episode. You can post on any of our social media platforms. We would love to hear from you. Literally anything you got, send it our way. I'll answer it. I'll do my best, at least, to answer it. So until next time, make sure you like, subscribe, share, and follow. And we'll see you back here for more of Lara Trump Wanted for Questioning. Nothing is worse than being on a phone call that drops. Nothing is worse than trying to text someone and you can't reach them because your phone is out of service range. And nothing is worse than supporting these major corporations and companies who don't support us. That is why I love Patriot Mobile. They are America's only Christian conservative wireless network. They use every cell tower out there available to all networks so that they have the greatest 4G and 5G coverage nationwide, and they support the causes that are important to us as conservatives. If you go today to patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump and use the promo code Trump, you will get free activation today. Again, that is patriotmobile.com/Lara Trump. The promo code is Trump for free activation so that you can get a great cell plan and feel good about doing it. So I'm like a lot of people. I love to wear an Apple Watch, but I hate how it looks. And I scoured the internet to search for the best looking Apple Watch cases I could find, and I found it. goldandcherry.com. They have absolutely beautiful watches, as you can see here. Everything is waterproof. Everything looks good with different outfits. You can get sporty, you can get fancy, but they are great quality, made out of Delaware in the United States of America. And they have been kind enough to give me a promo code that I can share with you if you want to get your hands on one of these as well. It's Lara T, L-A-R-A-T is the promo code to get yourself a discount at goldandcherry.com. And not only do they make Apple Watch cases, they also make great products for iPads and iPhones, keyboards, your desktop, everything you could possibly need. Goldandcherry.com. Use promo code LARAT so you can get yourself one of these today too. At The Right View, we're very proud of the fact that we are independent. We get to say everything that we think and everything that we feel. We have no woke companies guiding us or telling us what we can and cannot say. We are always going to shoot you straight and give you the facts as we know them. And that's why it's important to support independent outlets like The Right View. My name is Lara Trump, and I think Mike Lindell is a patriot. He is someone who loves this country, is willing to fight for this country. I love MyPillow because not only are MyPillows made in the USA by American workers, but they're great products, and they're so great that not only do I use them in my own bed at night, my children actually requested. My daughter the other day went to the closet and pulled out a MyPillow and said, "This is the pillow that I want to sleep with." And I gotta tell you, she loves it and will have nothing to do with any other pillow. So it's a big hit around our house. My dogs also happen to sleep on MyPillow dog beds. So all around the Trump household, we're big fans. If you go to mypillow.com today and use promo code Trump, again, promo code Trump, you will not only save money, but you will help us continue this show and other shows like it and help us continue the fight for the future of America. Inflation has impacted all of our lives. I don't think anyone can go to the gas pump or the grocery store without noticing that it is a major factor. And unfortunately, it's not going anywhere. It doesn't seem like it's going down in the way that we would like it to. And one way to protect your money is by investing in precious metals, gold and silver. That's always been a great way to make sure that you keep your money and you keep it safe. When you go to bh-pm.com, use promo code Trump. That way, if you decide you want to invest in gold and silver, you'll save yourself a little bit of money. We live in a time that's very interesting. A lot of us out there feel like a lot of our rights are slipping away. And if you're like I am and you want to have the right to choose whether or not to have a vaccine, how to live your life freely, and you're looking for a great doctor, I've heard amazing things about Dr. Sherwood. He's somebody who you should really check out and check into, and it'll help support this program and keep us going. So go to sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. Again, sherwood.tv and use promo code Trump. You can save yourself some money and help us keep our program going.